Got you. And I guess like for both of those experiences, like how did you even come up with the idea? Was it like you had an initial thought or it was like the research that you did?
Yeah, so for at least for the muscle simulator, our professor just brought an actual big machine to class one time, and then he connected it to people's arms and like fingers and things were moving, and we're like, hey, we could just do this. What if we made this portable and then anybody could use it? That's like where that idea came from. As far as our startup idea, so for to give more context, so Liminal Power was our company. So me and three of my other co-founders, we saw that Toronto has really terrible roads because of our climate, because of the frost heave cycle. There's a lot of potholes and things like that. And because of that, we're like, hey, it'd be pretty cool if you could just roll up a road and create modular roads that you could just change and create you could save money for countries and cities to be able to easily modularly build bridges and roads and things like that over time. So that's where we were thinking about it. Potholes are bad. Another thing that we do in Canada, which is really awful, is that there's an environmental element to things. So we use a lot of different solutions and a lot of de-icing salt on roads
Right.
and bridges and things like that. And that seeps into the environment. And essentially because of that, what's happening is like Canada's freshwater systems are becoming more and more salty. And that's terrible for our freshwater resources. So there was like a two-pronged approach that we thought of. Was there's an environmental approach where salt is bad, how do we fix it? And the second thing was if we had a better way of road construction, we wouldn't have to wait in traffic for hours or days. Your maintenance costs wouldn't go up every year. They would actually be more stagnant, or you can make them go down.
And I guess I think so you mentioned also that it related to some kinetic energy developed for melting ice. Is that
So
also part of it or is that
no, so
separate?
like yeah, so initially liminal basically means the space in between. And initially our idea was that we were going to use piezoelectricity, which is basically the ability of being able to use kinetic energy. Basically, it's like panels that if you put pressure on, like ceramics, they're able to generate a bit of voltage and electricity. There's a lot of like companies now, like in Abu Dhabi and stuff like that, actually create those little panels you can walk on. It generates a little bit of energy, and then you could use it to light up stuff. It's used in like urban smart cities. We initially started off, hey, you know what? Let's just generate energy from like cars and like power stuff. But it's impossible because it's just very low energy, and you can't really generate high amounts of energy from such a little bit of kinetic energy. So we pivoted because one of the things that they teach you when starting a company is failing fast and figuring out like why you're failing. And then we were able to validate our idea with not only the market by talking to people, but we also spoke to professors in different universities to see if it's practical enough and stuff like that. And then we pivoted over from that to modular construction and building of roads.
Yeah, that's really hard to do. Like it takes because you put so much effort into research and stuff and then to pivot. I think so. I'm assuming that was pretty hard like for your team just to go towards that or
Yeah, but yeah, so the thing is, it was hard to pivot because you obviously, but I think the big thing that we had ingrained in my team was like we were trying to stay away from the idea of marrying your first idea.
yeah.
Marrying the problem, not the solution, is the big thing. And I think that really helped us. And at the same time, the team I was working with, I'd say it's one of the best teams I've ever worked with. We complement each other really well. We had different skills, different personalities, but we were just like the perfect engine to get things going. So even if we did feel discouraged, we had a very good team camaraderie and team chemistry to be able to bring the morale up. And then we were just go getters. We just were drivers. So we were like, okay, fine, this is on to the next thing. So it was that kind of helped us, just the mentality and then the focus.